Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Back Chat. I'm Amy, and this is my lovely partner Maggie, and together we are ThinkerThemer, and this is the series where we talk about our top 10 most exciting crowdfunding campaigns of the last fortnight.
Yes.
And so we spend a lot of time going through those campaigns. We each give them a rating, which you'll see appear on the screen. It shows you my rating and Maggie's rating out of 10. We take the average of that, and then we create a ranking. And that's how we come up with the top 10. If there's a draw, we will simply just decide. We'll have a discussion and negotiate with each other until one is ranked higher than the other.
And should also say that this is about excitement. This is the ranking that we're giving it is not about how good we think the game is going to be. It's just how excited we are to play it. Yeah. So a lot of it is just going to come down to the theme, the type of game, the genre,
mechanics, any Kickstarter exclusives, things to do with the production value, or if it's a designer that we love. So there's lots of things that go into what makes something exciting. Just because something's ranked lower doesn't mean that we wouldn't sit down and have a game with you if you taught it to us at a convention. But in terms of what are we backing, you'll see a little stamp appear for all of the campaigns that we are backing. And we've had a really exciting week. We did hit 5,000 subscribers. There's a little video about that. Thank you to everyone for all the lovely, heartwarming comments you've been leaving on there. This community has just been so fantastic. And, this week we also played a couple of games on Discord with our Joey fam, which is what we call our channel membership. Wow, it was hard to teach a game online. Because I kind of
pointed things that
are, like I said in, I think the last episode of Small Talk, that one game I'd be always willing to teach is Welcome To, and then started to teach it online, and when you can't write on it to demonstrate, it's like, how do I explain this online? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So let's get into the top 10 for this fortnight.
So we're starting with our number 10, Monstrology. Now, this card game looks really, really cute. Like, the artwork of it is very, how would you describe it? It's kind of like, they're really kind of like imaginary monster friends.
Yeah, it's your imaginary
like
friends.
A dreamland type thing, dream creature type things.
I think this is definitely one for the parents out there. This is not one that we would be backing ourselves. You can see our scores are a little lower, but it did scrape into the top 10 because I think it's actually a really cute idea for, for kids and getting them into gaming, but also teaching them kind of deductive skills, because if you're familiar with a little game called Guess Who, it's very similar to that. You have a series of cards that are going to have all different types of imaginary creatures. They will have different body parts. They look like they would move differently or behave differently.
Of different things.
And then you're basically filling out like little quizzes about the animal to kind of give clues to the other person. So you might say that they would be really good at running, but not so good at babysitting, for example. So all different activities, and then the other person or people have to guess which monster you're talking about. And so I just think that's really cute. So it is our number 10.
That is our number
Monstrosity.
10. Yeah.
Our number 9.
Our number 9 is a little game called Catch Don Falcone. Is it Don Falcone? Yes. Falcone. So in this game is a bit of a, is it one versus many?
Yes,
where
it
you're
is.
Where you one person places Don Falcone and the rest of the players are the police trying to catch Don Falcone, who just freshly got out or escaped jail the same day and is trying to make his getaway. So actually, let you talk about the mechanics. The artwork of this looks pretty cool as well.
It's really
kind
cute.
of like like a fun, playful sort of.
I'll let you talk about mechanics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Look,
training wheels on.
It's Opposites Day. Maybe I'll talk about all the
talk about all the themes. So in this game, you're going to be essentially laying out the track that Don Falcone and also the cops are going to be driving through. And so there's going to be traps, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be boosters. And the whole idea is if you're Don Falcone, you're trying to find the getaway, like make your way through to a getaway tile so you can escape. And that's essentially it.
Yeah, it's tile placement. There's a border that's constructed at the beginning of the game, so the whole middle space is empty, and then everybody is playing different tiles to create paths that you can go through and delve Don Falcone is trying to escape. I thought it was really interesting, the inclusion of like hot sauce and pizza.
Yeah.
Like I didn't quite. That
It's
didn't.
not a little bit stereotypical because obviously it's an Italian kind
Yeah,
of
but it didn't
monster
quite
of the
mesh the hot sauce. I was like, I don't understand, but I appreciate it because I love hot sauce. So, so maybe that drew me in a little bit more.
Yeah.
For us, it's a little bit too expensive to back because the postage was quite expensive. I think $28 or something US to Australia. But that is one to check out if you're a fan of tile laying and probably a little bit of a lighter game.
Yeah.
Our number 8 game is a game called Kiwi Chowdown, in which you play kiwi birds, which are the flightless birds from New Zealand that will be looking for kiwi fruit. So there's a lot of kiwi if you watch the video on this Kickstarter campaign.
I enjoy the kiwi puns as well.
There's a lot of good kiwi
Kiwi
words.
go again. That's
Kiwi
cute.
go again. But the main draw card, I think, for this game, and the reason why, it ranked quite highly, is probably the production value. I ranked it a little lower. I think the artwork style for me was a little I wouldn't say kiddie, but it was kind of presenting the kiwi in a non-serious light, and I will give them complete props for the fact that they did engage a Maori consultant to look at the use of the symbolism of a kiwi bird to make sure that it was all okay culturally. I am from New Zealand, and when I think about a kiwi, I don't think of him as so silly, but that's just a personal thing. The Kiwi Chowdown, I really like the look of the miniatures, which people probably would expect, that they actually look like they would be really fun to paint. But the game itself is area control, and so you're trying to be the kiwi bird that has the most kind of segments.
Because you have to be the one that then has the ability to eat the most kiwi.
Yeah, which
fruit.
is to me a little bit light, but you gave it a higher rating.
I
than
actually
me.
really like the art. I actually really like a lot of the things about it. I think the table presence is going to look really cool. My only concern is that the gameplay might be a bit light when we start playing.
For us.
For us, and because we like obviously kind of heavier strategy type stuff. But I'm keen to check it out. Like I think that
Like, you want to back it?
I would be looking at the cost of shipping and the overall package, because it's a game that I would play without any hesitation if it's on the table and someone's got it, a friend has it, or it's at a con. I don't know if it's too expensive. I don't know if I would be.
That's interesting, because you don't usually love area control either that much.
Yeah, and that's probably going to tell how much I like
Really like the art.
Yeah, the art and the components have drawn me in.
All right, well, we might have to have a chat about that one offline. See if we're
okay.
going to back it.
Yeah.
Check out the cost a bit
check
more.
out the cost.
I didn't know that you would be so close to backing it, so we've got to go back and look at it
It's a question
again.
mark at the moment. Yeah, it's a we'll negotiate.
We'll
on this.
negotiate. That is our number 8, Kiwi Chowdown.
Yeah.
Our number 7 is probably, you could probably say it better than I could.
Well, I think it's called Aldabas. Which is interesting because having grown up in South America, this is from, I believe it's from Colombia. And it's referring to the adornments that go on the door knockers, like on the front of the door knockers. So they all kind of have a different look or a different kind of animal or symbol, and that was to represent the profession of the people that lived traditionally, the profession of the people that lived inside. So you could judge a household by its door cover, essentially. So it's a name that I hadn't actually even heard, even though
I didn't know about this, and it's not made by, I don't think the designer is Colombian, but they definitely had a cultural consultant involved as well. I found the story really fascinating. Like watching the Kickstarter video is quite good, actually. It's a very good video.
Very well produced video.
It gives you the story or the theme, and then it really goes into mechanics quite a lot,
easy to sort of see how the game will play.
which you think most Kickstarter videos would do, but surprisingly it's not the case. Often we finish a video, we're like, so what is the game?
What is happening?
What?
Yeah.
But this game I thought was really clear. I gave it a much higher rating than Maggie, actually. I said 8, Maggie said 6. For me, I know that Maggie is going to find it a bit abstract and probably a bit simple, but for me, I really love a quick playing game where you're drafting cards, because it's something that I can take to work and teach to people really easily. I really liked the idea of, there's the one mechanic that really drew me in, and probably I will definitely back this. But the thing that drew me in is that once you've finished your tableau of cards in front of you, you're going to have different scoring conditions for the different coloured cards or the different door knockers.
The professions.
Yeah, the different professions. But then you only get to score those cards if you have the majority of that card type, which means you're not only looking to collect different types, but you're also then looking to have the most of any one type. So I don't know, it seemed like there was a bit of thinkiness. It seemed like it would be quite a cute little puzzle and one that would be easy to teach. So I would like to back this one.
Yeah, all right.
And I thought it was quite reasonably priced. So going to back.
I think I think the only thing holding it a little bit back for me is just that I know it's going to be fairly abstract, but I'm quite looking forward to what seems like a fairly straightforward but possibly quite engaging little puzzle with the adjacencies and what can and can't happen. Yeah.
And that's our number 7, our Dabas. Our number 6 is Dice Theme Park.
Ooh, which is also being grouped with Dice Hospital Emergency Roll.
Yes,
which we actually covered as part of Small Talk.
We did
last week.
Yes, so that's the roll and write. That is an optional extra, but the core campaign is about Dice Theme Park, which is a follow up to Dice Hospital. And I really love on the campaign. The campaign's beautiful, but also they do compare it to Dice Hospital and show that it's meant to be slightly more complex. I have heard that Dice Hospital is a bit light, which is the reason why we don't own it. I always thought it might be a little too light for us, but this one really draws me in with the dice cascading mechanic. So the way that you trigger dice combos that flow through your theme park. I thought that was really cute. The dice all represent guests in your theme park. I
can already, as you were saying that, it's like I could already see myself being frustrated at the table because you've just managed to create the most the longest combo where I'm just sitting there looking at the devastation that I'm about to face.
And then this does this, and then this does this.
I love the theme. We recently covered Unfair and Funfair, which is also theme park themed, and I really enjoyed playing in that sort of world. And so this has a lot of those theme park elements of you're building attractions and doing upgrades and optimizing your stuff, and you've got mascots and stuff. So I think I'm interested to check this one out.
I liked the little mini as well, that on the back it had the dice imprint. I thought that was really cute.
Is that is that like a monorail?
Yeah,
with the dice inside as the people.
Oh no, it's on the back.
On the back, yeah. Well, as in inside the.
No, on the outside of.
Well, there's one that's got it on the side. I'm not imagining this.
I really?
Did see it. Yes.
Really? Oh, I just saw it on the back of the carriage.
Because they're inside the actual monorail.
Sense. That makes sense. I didn't see that.
They're being transported.
But one thing with this is we haven't backed it. It is a game that I would like to play, but for me, when I was going through the campaign, there wasn't a compelling reason for me to back it at Kickstarter to, I think it'll make it to retail, because Dice Hospital is so available in retail, I think it will make it, we'd like to pick up a copy at retail, so we'll probably do that as opposed to, always paying such a huge postage cost to Australia, but that might not be the case wherever you are. So that is our number 6, Dice Theme Park.
Theme Park. Number 5. Our number 5 is a game called Ice. Now, this game is an archaeological exploration through ice. So you're actually going to be kind of navigating the board and then going down through the tiles, digging through the tiles, these really cool layers of tiles to find different artifacts to put on your beautiful player board with incredible art. This is probably one of the most, from a art point of view, the most stunning work.
The art is amazing.
In all the games that we're reviewing. So that's essentially what you're going to be doing, trying to collect artifacts, but through ice, and digging down.
And you are digging down all the way to the bottom layer. I believe the game ends or is triggered by something being found kind of at the very last layer. But as you're digging through, you are turning over the tiles, and the tiles have different abilities that are added to your little tableau. I thought that looking through the campaign, obviously the art and the board are going to be the big draw cards here. Everyone is going to be if you're like me and you love a Kickstarter exclusive, that deluxe kind of pack is going to be hard to resist because it comes with a magnetic board so that it all clips together. That everything just looks really well considered. The double layered player boards, just the components just look so good. But I am a little concerned about the heaviness of the game. Like the gameplay, whether it would be too light for us. Having said that, I think because of the table presence, it will get a lot of people into the game. So our friends that are not, into heavier games, even if it is a bit light, they might find something to really enjoy in that digging down process. I like the little meeples, the way they move through and the way they kind of collect together as they move through. That seems really interesting to me.
I think it's going to feel very unique on the table.
Definitely. The only thing is it's quite expensive. And you can see why it's expensive. It's not going to be cheap to produce. But, I'm saying all of this, but everyone who's been watching this for a while will know I'll back this one because I just can't wait for it to arrive and to see how gorgeous it looks on the table. So this one is definitely drawing me in from all the little exclusives. So we're going to back Ice.
It's backed. So that's number 5, Ice.
Number 5.
Number 4.
Number 4 is a game that has been available, but now they're bringing it back with a slightly more deluxeified pack that can be added onto the original game, and that is Domination's Road to Civilization. I was really surprised by this campaign. When I was watching the video and then looking through the campaign, I found myself being really drawn in actually, and I didn't expect to. I saw it and I thought maybe the theme is not going to be for us. Like it might be even a little too dry or too, I don't know. I looked at the box, it didn't draw me in. But when I was watching the video, the combination of mechanics was really intriguing to me. There was a lot going on. So there's the middle centerpiece with the tiles. There's the card-based tableau that you have in front of you, the way that the cards connect together to create combos, the way that you turn them over and it evolves your civilization. There was just the different player tracks. Tracks that you have that you're managing. I just thought that there was a lot of things that you and I would typically like in a game, and I'm not sure how they all come together, but I was really intrigued, and it felt like something that I wanted to be taught or I wanted to learn. I was really engaged with it.
My biggest thing is I'm really looking forward to experiencing the gameplay of how all those things come together, because it's like domino. That's why Dominations, it's like domino style kind of connecting and linking. There you go. I think linking, because they even call them dominoes, like those tiles, because you're connecting the same, like matching the edges. So I think for me, again, theme wise, I'm like, I'll explore it, but there's a lot going on that I'm like, how does that work? So I don't know if it'll come together. It is it's an older game, isn't it?
It is, yes. It is an older game.
Highly rated.
It is. I'm not sure how easy it is to get in retail, but for me, I think I will try and find it retail, if I can, before backing this, only because the shipping, I think, is €35 to Australia, which is probably the cost of the game over here if I can find it. So probably not one that will be backing. I must admit though, the little extras that come in the deluxe pack are very tempting to pick up, because they do look like they would improve the game. I think there's some wooden pieces and things that I was pretty excited about. So we will see if we pick up the deluxeification pack, but if I can find the actual base game at retail, I'll probably pick it up.
I love that the main currency of it, or the thing that you're kind of collecting and spending, is knowledge. So that's very cool as a civilization. And apparently there's no war in it, so you're not conquering anything. You're not. You are kind of using knowledge to build the influence and power out of that.
And I think it's meant to be quite heavy, and that you need to have a strategy going in on kind of what you want your civilization to stand for and be. So I don't know, I think it sounds interesting. So
I feel like it'll be layered in that there'll be different, like that with a strategy, different things that you can try and going, okay, let's focus on this or that.
This is another one where I rated it higher than Maggie. In fact, I had a lot of 8s. This, you'll see, the 8 kind of started pretty early for me in this ranking.
And for me, I think it's because even with this game, even though I'm sort of talking about, it's like, when I look at it, it's like, it still looks pretty abstract. Like the actual puzzle itself, and it's like, it's still quite an abstract kind of thing.
I'm all about the abstract.
Yeah.
Okay. speaking of, our number 3, so that was number 4, Dominations.
Yes.
Our number 3 is Vivid Memories.
Yeah, this has a super cute or endearing theme, because in this game you're making connections to collect memories and then banking those memories to make space for new memories. But it's really the artwork and the way that they kind of capture it is so cute. Like it's so it's sort of reminiscent of, you've got the kid who has a dream, or like those little pivotal moments in the life of a person that then define who or what they become, and so it's quite a I resonate with the theme. The gameplay itself, though, it looks quite abstract in terms of like the things that you're collecting and stuff. So I'll let you talk a bit more about the
I have no problem with abstract. So you are collecting different sets to achieve different memories, which are on cards. Those cards, I just want to talk about those because the artwork and the concept of the cards, I just absolutely adore. The fact that you see on one side kind of the reality of a child climbing, like, for example, a tree, and then when you turn it over, you show what that looks like in their memory, which is them, conquering this huge, canyon or tower or whatever it is. So every time you flip it over, you see kind of how that came to life in their mind. And I just think that is so thoughtful, really beautiful. Their component quality looks excellent. So the little, I don't know what they call them, the little tokens.
Yeah, the little tokens that are to make the connections. Yeah, it's like little kind of droplet beads, elongated beads.
Yes, they just look really beautiful, very tactile, kind of like the azul tiles. Just they look really high quality. And then if that wasn't enough, as you scroll down, in the campaign, you will then see that the Kickstarter version includes a neoprene mat. And then I was like, hook, line, and sinker, I'm backing this one.
Well, there you go.
You got me there. We're backing number 3, Vivid Memories.
There you go.
Number 2.
Up to our last two. Last top 2. So our number 2 is Chai Tea for 2. We also covered this game as part of Small Talk last week. I absolutely love this game. This had been a long time coming for me, like just Chai in general. Still haven't played Chai, the main game. But yeah, we're so delighted that I got to play Chai Tea for 2. I love chai latte, I should specify. This is not just about chai latte. It's all sorts of tea leaves. You are tea farmers, and you're kind of collecting different tea leaves and then evolving those tea leaves to the point of shipping them off in different ships to sell them off around the world. And that's how you get your points. Either that or putting them into crates. I love that it's interactive. Like there's a bit of interactivity, but it's not a take that type of game.
Yeah, no, and it's so it is 2-player only, of course.
One or 2 player.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
There's a
1
solo.
or 2 player. Yeah. I don't ever play solo. So
I played it
just
solo. That's the other thing that I like about it. Like, there's a solo mode, which I love. Yes.
But the core mechanic is dice worker placement. So that's the way that you're going to be collecting cards that you need to get things done, to take movement actions, to flip cards, like all the key actions you need to take are done with die. But I really like that you can see each other's dice and which that kind of impacts the order in which you play those dice, because I'll clock that Maggie has a lot of one number, and I'm like, oh, she's definitely going to take the first movement space or the best ship or whatever the case may be. And so I found that really, like, I love worker placement. I love dice worker placement. So that really resonated with me. The puzzle that Maggie spoke about evolving your tea leaf, that's quite hard. I don't know why.
There's 2 sides to the board. So you can have a standard side, and then there's the advanced side. So you can kind of engage your brain burn level.
Oh, even the basic side for me, I think it was not just moving them up, but the cards that influence them moving up and things. Like, it's quite thinky, and
there's a lot of game in such a little box. Like, it's quite,
And it really didn't, it didn't come naturally to me on the advanced side, the way that the tea leaves become other tea leaves. I just, I don't know why, that just... But yeah, I really enjoyed the game. I thought there was a lot of, like you said, a lot of game there. I feel like you could try different strategies, but also you have to be, your strategy has to be dictated by the cards that are coming out as well. It's a lot in a small box, as well as the production quality.
Can we talk about those components?
The components. The little, get the deluxe edition.
The little tins are beautiful. They're not
Yeah.
very functional in that, like, they can be a little bit tricky to open, but it's just like aesthetic. You're not opening them throughout the game. You just open it once and then that's it. Aesthetically,
But
they're
also
just
they're
beautiful.
not going to fall apart in the box either. Like
No.
it's a very tight fit, so
Yeah.
at least they don't fall out everywhere.
The dice, the
Dice
trays.
trays. The dice trays.
Oh, they're just the best.
They are, and I saw a video actually by Alex from Board
Yeah.
Game Co.
He was
where
also
he
loving
just
on them.
went, and you'll see it in the campaign. He just loved the dice trays.
But they
and,
are legit.
And seriously,
Beautiful.
we had the same reaction when we received it and we were looking at these dice trays. They're just so beautiful. They're just high quality, but just to see it in a pattern that is kind of like an interesting theme to us, and just really lovely colors. I really love them. I almost would want to, like
Get
he
more.
said,
Yeah.
get more through
Yeah.
the campaign because they're really good. So please just add them in if you need a dice tray.
They're
You
great.
can use them for other games.
Yeah.
They're really
Just
awesome.
make sure that at the start you fold them quite well, and then because they're quite solid as a like little dice tray. It's just the size of it. It's just perfect. Particularly if you don't have a lot of table. I just love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love that it has a solo mode as well. I've found that the difficulty of it was you can adjust the difficulty a bit, and it felt like tricky but not impossible. So it's like a good sort of level as well. But yeah, Chai Tea for Two. Yeah, definitely keen to continue to play this and play it again.
Yeah, and I thought it was quite well priced for what
Yeah.
you're getting in the box.
So I would be backing this. Like this
yeah,
is
we're going to give it a back stamp. We obviously have a prototype copy of the
Yeah.
game, which we will be clinging onto and not.
We'll probably be like ordering additional dice trays.
We could be
as
ordering
well,
additional dice trays, but we would definitely be backing this if we didn't already have a copy. So
Yeah.
that is a ringing endorsement from us at number 2, Chai Tea for 2. At 2.
Yeah, Chai Tea for Two for two.
At two. Number 2. Anyway. And our number 1, in case you couldn't predict this, our number 1
A lot of people called it.
A lot of people called it, actually. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a moment. But number 1 is My Father's Work. And this has been a campaign that has been incredibly successful already. Lots of people are on board with this. I think part of that is the components, which
I think this was all about those little jars.
the little jars.
Jars, just
And when we started seeing people sharing photos of the little jars, and you just know that this is going to get some hotness groundswell.
so crazy.
And the other thing about it is that it is by Renegade Games, but it is not being sent out for distribution to retail stores, which means there's a lot of FOMO that goes into this, which is, for me, it does create more excitement in terms of backing it on Kickstarter, because it might be quite hard to pick up, or I'll have to get it directly through the publisher, which is harder in Australia. So why not back Kickstarter and get it when everybody else does? People, I think, will be surprised that it's at our number 1 because of the thematic style and the fact that there's a narrative in there.
I should talk about the theme actually as well. So it's a very kind of gothic horror mad scientist theme, where your father was a mad scientist trying to create all these sort of experiments and monstrosities or whatever, and you're now following in his footsteps. So you are kind of taking those experiments and stuff and trying to make them come to life. But then there's this balance of you want to make sure that you don't spook the townsfolk, otherwise they're going to be chasing you and trying to like get you out of town or burn you at the stake or something. You want to make sure that you don't go too mad, because I believe like insanity is one of the things that you can use to your advantage, because it'll make you more creative in a way, but then too much of it and then you completely lose yourself, kind of thing. So yeah, I think there's a lot going on, but yeah, as you were saying, it's like it's more of a narrative campaign type thing. There's a lot of elements that we know and love, like the way that you're using cards, the way that you're building things, the way that you but most of it is
it's campaign driven, but there's
scenarios and stuff.
You also play as 3 different generations of the same family, which is really cool. And the way that it works is when a new generation takes over, you can only keep I think it's 1 useful thing that you've created along the way,
right.
And you lose all of your resources. So for me, that says mechanically there's going to be a lot of timing elements to it to leverage what you have before the next generation takes over and you lose all your stuff, which is also reminds me, and this is a big part of why I'm so excited about this game, it reminds me of Betrayal Legacy. And that is a game that is absolutely, we spoke on Small Talk about pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, and Betrayal Legacy is a game where we absolutely did that. We played it with some friends who were much more into that genre, and luckily were able to kind of teach us the way of betrayal, which guide us through, you know, the way that you would take a book and read about the campaign and come back and play it out. But that also plays over generations of families. And so for that, it reminded me of that experience. But this is competitive rather than cooperative, which means that it's going to be much more in our wheelhouse and have that competitive tension that we love.
Yeah.
Obviously, anything with resource management, anything with cards, that's we're going to love that as well. There's minis. There's just a lot going on, and I just want to be a part of it. Yeah. I just I can't rationalize it anymore. Yeah. I just when there's something that looks like it's been well thought out, well put together, and a big experience, I just want to try it.
I'm just gonna say the only thing that I might be disappointed about is that there doesn't seem to be a solo mode in this, and it seems like the kind of thing that would totally lend itself to a great immersive story kind of
Sorry,
campaign.
You're gonna have to play with me
against
me. It also seems like something that would be fun to play out with the same group, maybe.
Yeah.
And just have like the different campaigns and playing. And I believe there's an app somehow involved in it.
I'm looking forward
well.
to that, because then I feel like then the immersiveness of it and the atmosphere will be like set up by that, sounds wise and narration wise. So,
yeah, I like it. It doesn't stray too far into fantasy. It's more like that kind of just quirky, interesting. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm excited about it. So that is our number one, My Father's Work. Now, I was going to mention before, the Joey fam in our Discord were trying to predict what we would back, and that gave us a good laugh. We read it properly after we did our ratings, and we've been reviewing campaigns, of course, over the last 2 weeks, but we went back and read that, and some of them were pretty spot on. So you are getting to know our taste very well, and soon we won't even have to make these videos anymore. Everyone can predict what we're going to back. But that is our top 10 for this fortnight. We'll be back in another 2 weeks with another top 10 on all things crowdfunding. But until then, we will be back with some more game reviews. And thank you very much for watching. We look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.